Remember the scene from Avengers Endgame where all the female heroes in the MCU conveniently banded together and started fighting Thanos' Looney Tunes squad? Yeah, that scene aged like disgusting and putrid milk. That milk now has clumps of white balls floating at the top and it tastes like paper dipped in Coca-Cola and semen. But why is that the case, you sexist, faceless bitch? What happened? Did someone get fired, say something racist, or started selling candles that smell like their own vagina? No, yes, and yes. And that's what we're going to be talking about. No, not vagina candles, I know, I'm just as disappointed as you are, but instead, what happened to these actresses that makes this heroic and empowering scene into something extremely ironic? I'm gonna start off with the actresses who have done basically nothing wrong, all the way to the top tier weirdest and some would say annoying bunch. And trust me, there are definitely a few anus burners and jaw droppers here. But I want to emphasize one thing, this is not a video knocking on women as a whole. I will only be criticizing the actresses in this scene. The things that some of these actresses have done is not a reflection of every woman in the world. So if I talk about something bad Brie Larson did, I'm only knocking on Larson, no one else, just her. This is a video about these people and not every woman. Don't get your balls twisted, and let's start. Palm Clementov, Zoe Saldana, Karen Gillan, and Danae Guerra had no sort of controversy after Endgame. The only crime is that Karen Gillan's name is Karen. I feel like in this day and age, if you actually have the name Karen, going on the internet is like ripping your eyeballs out and splashing them in hellfire. But this Karen is not like the others, and I respect that. Next we got Brie Larson, and she got a lot of hate because she purchased her first NFT a while ago and made it her profile pic on Twitter. And everyone was all like, that did it, that fucking did it, that stupid blonde bum thinks she could get away with buying NFTs. I hate you as Captain Marvel, and I hate you 10 times more because you're spending money. I hate you! This one was just stupid. Now, NFTs are a complete joke on the internet, I get it. The way people are making money is pretty scammy, and celebrities are making NFT projects just to make a few extra $1 million because they spent too much money on I don't know, vagina candles. But in the end, it's her money, and she can do what she wants. If she wants to buy an NFT, who's gonna stop her? We're not the fucking crypto cops. She can do what she wants with her life, and if we don't understand something, why hate on someone who does? And if she posts on social media to show it off, that should be fine as well. So personally, I think the hate on Brie Larson for getting this is kind of uncalled for. The next individual is Tessa Thompson, who is in a very stupid controversy that oddly us fans don't give a shit about, but actually this is causing Disney and Marvel to have their eyebrows raised and nipples cranked. Because a few photos came out during production of Thor Love and Thunder, of Tessa Thompson, Taika Waititi, who is the director for Thor 4, and a surprise special guest, Rita Ora, and they're all just cuddling. And apparently, Marvel disapproves this, and they explain that it didn't fit their child-friendly reputation. But since then, the entire situation has been eviscerated because, as you expect, it's not that big of a deal. I like Marvel Studios, they don't seem like a corrupt company in the slightest, and they do a lot of things to benefit the consumers and their employees. But if I'm working for Marvel, specifically working with Taika Waititi, and I'm getting my ass flamed with a Minecraft torch because I've been seen kissing Taika Waititi, I'm ripping my Marvel contract up then and there. There are only 3 people in this world who I would give a kiss to. My little brother, God, and Taika Waititi. I'd rather have all the shit that came out of me get shoved back into my ass than not be given the privilege to kiss Taika. Tessa Thompson did nothing wrong. Now we're getting to the juicy stuff, the cream of the cock, the true and genuine controversies. And we're going to start with Elizabeth Olsen, who during the time of WandaVision airing was being called a racist for using an inappropriate and racial slur to describe the Scarlet Witch character. And you may be wondering, what's the word? Well, I'm obviously not going to say it. How dare you fucks think of me as a racist piece of garbage? Literally the best I could do is describe it, and that's a Romani slur that starts with a G. And she said that word a long time ago when she first got casted for the role.
So Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, basically, they're like vagabonds. They are kind of in Eastern Europe, and they have just had to use their own resources to get on.
And more recently, to describe the costume for the Scarlet Witch in the show. And of course, the toxic dumpster fire, also known as Twitter, thought that they caught another one and they tried to cancel her. But the argument can be made that Olsen wasn't using the word with racist or malicious intent, and Americans tend to see and use the word to describe something. And that seems to be the approach the world has went with, because this controversy literally fizzled away, and they moved on to cancel the next person. And since then, there hasn't been an apology from Olsen, and she deleted her socials because of the toxic culture on them. And I fully understand why she deleted socials, but I don't understand not apologizing. I don't know how she handled the situation. I tried to look for articles for whether or not she apologized, and I couldn't find any. I assume she handled everything behind the scenes. Either way, I think if you're gonna get canceled for something which is a misunderstanding, you have to address that controversy to the public and apologize so you could clear the air and have everyone stop acting like immature, childish goblins. So hopefully Olsen has learned something new, and no matter what, if this word does carry any sort of malicious or offensive baggage, it's only fair to retire the use of the word regardless of what you ladies and bumholes think. Next one, we got a double whammy. Letitia Wright, who plays Shuri, and Evangeline Lilly, who plays Wasp. Both people are anti-vaxxers, but with an asterisk. And both have expressed their opinions about their skepticism or simply not wanting to get the vaccine. Letitia Wright got caught in this bloodbath and cum storm when she committed the biggest sin an individual can possibly commit themselves to doing, and that's expressing their opinion on Twitter. It just so happens to be an opinion which universally is a really bad opinion. And as a result of that tweet, Twitter took a flamethrower, pointed it at her face, and flamed her for her thoughts on the vaccine. Personally, I don't care what anyone said. Personally, I don't care what anyone says. If you want the world to go back to normal, you should be getting the vaccine as soon as possible. It's not made of some weird shit like the government put some microscopic chips inside the vaccine so it could track us. Dude, that's what your fucking phone does. And since then, she hasn't exactly apologized for her comments, but has stated that she didn't intend on making anyone upset, nor is she forcing her views onto other people. She's just concerned about what's in the stuff. Fair enough, but if people are that concerned about what's in the vaccine, I don't get why they don't take the time to just look up what it composes or talk to a doctor to simply explain to them. But instead, these people think it's a good idea to express their opinion without any information on the subject on the worst possible platform you could think of. And I haven't forgotten about Evangeline Lilly. This one is a little bit more of a shitstorm because she actually attended an anti-vaxxer protest and made a post on IG to express her thoughts on the vaccine mandates. And after that post, a few Marvel stars such as David Dasmalchian and Simu Liu expressed their thoughts on the vaccine in regards to spotlighting anti-vaxxer news and how dumb as fuck it is to do that, as opposed to highlighting more on the education side of it. Now to me, it looks like she is simply opposed to the vaccine mandates and not the vaccine specifically. She doesn't like the idea that she should be forced to get it because society is telling her to, and she would be given multiple restrictions if she does reject it. Either way, I still see that as someone who doesn't want to get the vaccine because they know nothing about it. Therefore, I believe that it falls under the lack of education on the topic. If you're waiting this long to get the vaccine, there's a reason. You're skeptical about it. Anyways, that's it for these two and their vaccine situation. I'm just gonna sum it up in two final statements, and that's it. 1, get the vaccine, and 2, educate yourself on a topic that you don't understand before you could try to be this woke hero who thinks they could cause a shift in the Earth's axis with a tweet or an IG post. And lastly, we got Gwyneth Paltrow, who you obviously know as Pepper Potts in the MCU. She is a weird person. If you couldn't tell, she hasn't been in any sort of Hollywood production since 2020. Her last movie was Avengers Endgame, and her last show was The Politician. And this is because she's taking a break from her acting to focus more on her company, Goop. I know, Goop is actually the name. Well, what does she sell? Does she sell sex toys to the masses? Try to appeal to every couple's dreams of wanting the same experience she does when she likes to get down and dirty? Well, the answer to your question is, of course, she doesn't just sell sex toys. She also sells vagina-scented candles, supplements, and cosmetics. And those supplements and cosmetics is something I would be very skeptical about because apparently she supports bee sting therapy. So let me explain. This is a type of therapy she believes will help with things like skin issues, inflammation, etc. And how does this work? Well, think of getting stung by a bee. The venom that comes out of the bee can be extremely painful and sometimes fatal to some people. Now think of taking that venom and getting a syringe with the venom and putting it in your body. This is what bee sting therapy or acupuncture is, and she endorses that. Now there aren't any bee venom products on the site, but I wouldn't be surprised if she comes up with some sort of supplement or soap that allows for this kind of stuff. I mean, who knows? I may be wrong. Maybe she's the Elon Musk of the next generation. I mean, clearly she knows her shit. I mean, I could ignore that one woman who died as a result of a bee sting despite taking this therapy, because Gwyneth Paltrow, fuck me. She's levels above everyone else. She should have been Iron Man and making all these suits. Instead of repulsor rays, it should have been bee venom. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because I thought it was kind of goofy, and all the information I got from these situations will be linked below if you want to check them out for yourself. And yeah, subscribe and I'll see you later.